In this lesson, we're going to look at using the law of cosines, which we can use when we have three sides and a missing angle, or we can use when we have two sides and an angle in between. It turns out that the law of cosines gives us these three equations. Now, there's three versions here because the letters don't exactly... The law of cosines says this: a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. And there's three versions of this here, because if we're solving for a, we use this one. If we're solving for b, we use this one. If we're solving for d, we use this one. The key is that we notice that this is a side and this is its opposite angle. So if we're looking for side A, we can use this one, and we know side B, we know side C. Those are given to us, and we know angle A. So if we know these three things on this side, then we can use that to solve for side A. If it's B we're looking for, well, we can use this other one down below here, all right? If we're looking for C, so on and so forth. Really, the letters don't matter. What does matter is that this side here, A, is opposite of this angle, or this side B and B, so on and so forth. So we can use this in two cases. We can use it when we have side angle side, or when we have three sides. We know three sides, and we want to find the angles, all right? So that's when we can use it. Well, let's look into these two cases here. The law of cosines here works when we have two triangles here, or two sides. We know the sides 5 and 7, and we know the angle in between them. So this is the side angle side situation. We know two sides and an angle in between them. Well, notice we're looking for AX, which is opposite of angle A. So we want to use that first one from up above. We want to use a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. So we got our formula. Now all we got to do is we got to substitute. So let's go ahead and substitute, and we get this. So substituting, we get this expression here, x squared, which is in the a spot over here. It's opposite of angle A, equals 5 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 5 times 7 times the cosine of 40. Well, this is something we can go to our calculator and evaluate, and we'll do that real quickly here, and then we can finish it off. Go into our calculator, we can just plug that in, and we get x squared is 20.37. We'll go a little further, call that 3769. So let's set that out of the way there. There's our calculation. Now we can just square root to solve for x, and we have our missing side. So we found out what x is here, 4.514, about 4.5, and now we can find the missing angle here, all right? And when we find the missing angle, it's best to find the smallest angle, all right? How do we know the smallest angle? It's the one that's opposite the smallest side. So 5 is the smallest side here, the smallest of the two that we know. We already know the 4.5 and its opposite one. So if we find the smallest angle, then we don't have to worry about any obtuse mess here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's find B using the law of sines, or if we wanted to, we could use the law of cosines again, but let's use the law of sines and see what we can do. So the law of sines tells us sine of 40 over 4.5, or 4.514, equals a sine of b over 5. So we can multiply both sides by 5, and we get the sine of b is 5 sine 40 over 4.514. We can go to our calculator now and figure out what that is, and then we'll find the inverse sine of that. So finding that inverse sine of that whole thing gives us about 45.39 degrees. Well, we can round that to 45.4. That would be good enough. All right, so we got 45.4 degrees. There's our B value. And then last but not least, we need to find our C value, and we can get that just by subtracting these from 180. Let's write that in, 45.4 degrees, all right? And that guy here, subtracting from 180, 180 minus 40 minus 45.4. That's going to give us about 94.6 on that. So we got all our angles, we got all our sides, and there we've solved the triangle. So that's how we can solve a triangle using side angle side. In the next little video, we'll find out how we can solve a triangle using side, 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 and a lot of cosines.